Welcome back to Ke Zaka Stokvel Insights. This week, we look at investment stokvel groups and the various investment opportunities available within the markets with my guest experts, Anrich van Jaarsveld. Anrich, we have quite a lot of, popular fintech platforms within the markets that stokvel groups seem to be taking advantage of. Can you share what is it about them that have helped individuals and groups to sort of have like a tactical advantage?
Yes, I think making use of fintech platforms for companies is highly beneficial to stokvels because if you look before the existence of these fintech platforms, it was a very physical exchange of funds. So you had to take your money in cash, go to a meeting point, pool all those funds together and then divide them among members. So, in modern times you can see the risk of doing that, carrying around a large amount of cash, the risk involved that in terms of security and then also record keeping, who got what and how much money. So firstly, in terms of digitization of transactions, so that makes the process a lot simpler for everyone and the members, and then also accurate record keeping. So all those transactions will be logged on that platform, and then lastly, security. So you don't have to walk around with a large amount of cash. Everything can be just transferred digitally on a digital platform.
Do these fintech platforms offer some sort of financial education when it comes to corporate portfolio investment tools?
Yes, so within a lot of these platforms that I've seen is they actually offer workshops or tutorials on financial education, explaining basic concepts and fundamentals to give their users a better understanding of how they work. And a lot of them also have built-in financial management or budgeting tools. So that assesses your, let's call it, portfolio in that fund, and then gives you all the stats that you don't have to go and calculate yourself, so you can see that easily on that platform.
We do have quite a lot of stokvel groups that have sent through some voice notes stating that, we have grown some members, but we haven't really done much because we are just trying to understand the market. So can you just share some of the fintech platforms that they can look into that sort of like aid them as first-timers?
Yeah. There's this one platform I know of that you pay a subscription and it allows you, I think the one is platinum status, which allows you a total of 20 members, where they do everything for your stokvel. So they manage the allocation of funds, payment to members, record keeping, all of that. So you pay a monthly fee, like anyone using their banking app or something like that. And then that facilitates the most of the admin processes related to a stokvel. What you can also use is any of these online payment systems. So these mobile for card payments and stuff like that. But also to prevent the necessity of carrying around physical hard cash and potentially being robbed or something like that, just to ease the process of it.
Yes. Now, Indzuzo Delangwane had, shared that they had invested in RSA retail bonds. Can you just touch on that? What are they? What's the purpose?
So RSA retail bonds is basically a loan that you're giving to the government, and the way they compensate you for that loan is in terms of coupon payments. So these are normally on a semi-annual basis at a certain percentage. So if it's, let's say, a bond of 1 million rand, coupon rate of 10%, then it will be 2 annual payments of 50,000 rand each. Let's say it's for a period of 10 years, you'll receive those semi-annual payments, and at the end of the term, you receive back your 1 million rand. How do you purchase these retail savings bonds? Electronically, you can go to a RSA Retail Savings Bonds website and you can purchase the bonds there.
What's the cost that they usually start at?
I can't remember off the top of my head now, but it's different denominations. Highest, I think, is 1 million. Lowest is 1,000, if I'm correct. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the starting point.
That is quite interesting. They have property, retail bonds, unit trusts. What other investment vehicles can they think of as well as a group?
Well, at the moment, we're already highly diversified among the different asset classes. Like I said, we're in equities, RSA retail savings bonds, property, and so on. So unit trusts as well. So that also offers a high level of diversification. So I think in terms of considering additional financial securities, we have to check what is the objective of a stokvel. So what do they want to achieve? is it solely to invest in property over the long term? Or do they have another objective they also need to fulfill? And then they can choose the appropriate asset class to fill that gap.
Anrich, thank you very much for just unpacking that for us. And it just makes me want to bring in that question once more again of how there's just a lack of research when it comes to stokvels. What can be done, in terms of like trying to gear more people that this isn't something that you can run away from, even though we do understand the risks associated with it?
Yeah, I think, again, if you think back to the past, if you look at a stokvel, let's say 40, 50 years ago, it used to be to a certain era or demographic, so rural areas. It doesn't have enough exposure or, yes, people knowing about it in general. So I think if we can just get a lot of more exposure, then that would help a lot in people becoming aware, like myself. Like I said, I only knew about it when I got to university. I didn't even know the stokvel existed or what it was. So if you can make people more informed and do more research on that, especially in South Africa, then that will do help to promote information on stokvels and their benefits.
What can be done when it comes to the issue of security and safety as well? We've had countless of examples where someone would say, yes, I invested in a stokvel, and day after that, the person is nowhere to be found. What can be improved when it comes to these systems?
Yeah, so one problem with a stokvel, because of the nature of how it functions, so you have your group of members, people make contributions, they receive payments in return. A lot of time you get Ponzi schemes or pyramid schemes disguised as a stokvel. So that's in what you said. You take your money to this group, you think you're going to get money in 3 or 4 months' time or at the end of the year, and then they disappear without a trace. So it is recommended that stokvels get registered, but it's not an obligation. But again, if you go to a stokvel group and they are registered, then that level of trust is there, like, these people are not just going to take my money and run. So, yes.
Well, thank you very much, Anrich, for joining us there. Thank you.
Thank you, Nonto.
If your stokvel or burial society needs to know more about this broad topic, please do contact us using the details on the screen below. Until next week, it's goodbye for now.
This program was brought to you by Thai Vision Media, helping stokvels and burial societies reach their goals.